Hi class, this is BIS155 Week 1 Lab Overview. The first disclaimer is that you must review the lesson page. In the lesson page in the course, there is a tutorial section at the end of that page, and there you will have an exercise that basically simulates everything we're going to be discussing throughout the lab. So I'm going to go really quick. This is the tutorial section. You will be able to download a spreadsheet and basically practice throughout the videos. The videos are very close to the lab, but they are no, sometimes they are not actually specific to the point, but they give you 99% of what you need to have to complete the labs. However, I would like to kind of give you a quick overview of the lab, help you out through understand some key points, some places where I see some students most of the time struggling, and that's the goal for me to do this. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is you need to either use your copy of Excel or use Citrix environment. Please review the other video that explains how that works and the different types of software. And then you need to go to step 1 and download the spreadsheet. Okay, I already downloaded the spreadsheet, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this same page, make a little bit smaller version, and then I'm going to open up this spreadsheet so you guys can kind of follow along really quick. Keep in mind that I am not going to be providing all the steps. I'm going to give you the overview. You have to review the tutorials to complete this lab completely. So let's go with first step is opening. Make sure you save it as they're asking you here with the student name. Okay, and once you do that, the first thing you need to do is create a documentation sheet. And what you do is you just click on this little guy here. Oh, make sure you click enable editing. Okay. So just type this and then move it to the beginning. Put the information. They're giving you actually a kind of like an example. You can either copy this, but it will look like that, or you can create it from scratch as what it may look like. By the end of the day, it may look something like this. Okay, simple enough. The next one is about formatting your spreadsheet. Okay, there are a couple things that they are looking for as far as formatting the spreadsheet. They're talking about in the lab. They're talking about the titles and the formatting. So things like, maybe put a little bit kind of like this color, making it a little bit bigger, making it bold. Just follow those instructions that are put in there. They even talk about the cells, format cells, maybe a different, about the borders, having maybe a double border, maybe in the bottom and the top. Those kind of things, make sure you do that. I'm not going to go through those. Bottom line, make sure that you do those formattings in there. After you do all that, you're going to then do some calculations. So I'm going to go to step 4. In the calculations, you're going to do things like net selling price, right? And just follow what it really says. It says selling price times 1 minus sales discount. So the sales discount is this one right here. Okay, you can just make sure that you format that as a percentage because that's what it is. So now we have percentage, and we can just do the calculation. So I'm going to just copy this, what I have really quick. I'm going to explain this a little bit. This is my calculation. Okay, this is a little bit bigger and jump to that. So we have in here B6. If I go and make it this a little bit smaller, B6 is this first row, right? The 15, the selling price. So that's what you have. So that's B16. You're doing times. You open parentheses. You're basically doing regular math. You have to do 1 minus the percentage to be able to get the information, and then you time it by the selling price. That's what you're doing, okay? And then if I just click on this little guy in here, double time, it will just show in there. You can see that B17 remains the same. That means the cell is absolute. You should know about this before going to the lab. You know, this is in the lesson, this is in the labs. Okay, so we have that. We have the absolute cell, and you have the B6, and you are basically done with the first one. Then you go to total cells. The total cells says sum daily cells. So what are the daily cells? The daily cells is everything you have in here. Okay, from 7.4 to 7.14. And again, what you do is actually something like this. You come here, sum, open parentheses. The lab may show something different, and that's okay. There are many ways to do things, just like in math, right? But then it says that you have to time, so asterisk, you have to time the net sale price. So the one that you just calculated, that's what you need to do in here. Okay, and then you can hit enter. And then we have everything here. Again, I can just double tap this, and now I have everything configured correctly. Just keep in mind that this auto-filling works nicely when you know exactly what you're doing. So make sure you are checking on that. The total profit. Total profit, it says total sales minus the cost per item times the sum of daily sales. So now you know how to do sum of daily sales. We did it in the other steps. You know that. Cost per item, you have it here. Is this one right here. And the total sales is the one that we just calculated. So I'm not gonna specifically show you how I'm gonna do that one for the sake of time, but the calculation may look something like this. So 06, which is the total sales, right here, minus cost per item, which is the first one right here, 7.6. Make sure that you have the parentheses, that's very important, times the sum of everything between the dates. That's what we did. Okay, and again, I'm just gonna go and make the double tap. Then we have the average profit, which is very simple. It's total profit divided by total sales. So if we do that, we just say total profit divided by total sales. And we have the percentage is 45. And I'm pretty much almost done. And then when you are towards the end, it asks you to actually do the calculations here, which is a basic sum for a few. Then in this one, you have to do the average. So let me just do that really quick. You average of everything, close parentheses, and you get this. And then in this one, you are actually doing the sum. You can also click on this little guy here. Let me actually do that. You can click here and it will highlight everything. Make sure you have that information in there. And you can actually even drag this to get the other information if you want to. You see? I'm scrolling down and getting information in there. We're pretty much done with this one. And the next one is asking you to do some cleanup. Okay? To do cleanup, to apply some color to the tabs. Make sure you name things. You know, you can just make double click and say, you know, sales data, for example. You can make right click on it and get some colors. You can use your imagination as far as the colors and everything. Bottom line is testing to know how much you have learned about this. Custom header, the orientation, those are things that are important. I'm not gonna go over those. Make sure you review the videos for those. Okay, the next one is about the charts, and it's asking you to create 3 different charts. Okay, the tutorial is actually giving you good information about those, and it's giving you good examples. I'm gonna go with a few of them. So the first one is I'm gonna use a bar chart for total profit by product. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, and keep in mind that this one is asking you to have each chart should be in separate sheets in the workbook. Okay, so make sure you do that. You have it in a separate worksheet. What I'm gonna do, the first one is total profit by product. That one is actually quite simple, but let me just make it a little bit smaller. What you do is just highlight all the items that you want. Then you press Control key, and it's by profit, and do that. Please do not go over the totals, because the grand total, you don't want to show that in the chart. If I do that, it's gonna either be wrong or it's gonna be askew in the data, because it's gonna look very weird. Then I'm gonna go to insert, and I can insert the chart. So you can insert this kind of chart. In this case, they're talking about a bar chart. So this is a bar chart, and that's the one I'm going to select. Like I said, this needs to be in a new sheet. That's not my goal here to show you how to put in a new sheet. You should know that already. But that's how you can create one chart. So you already have one. Good. Now the next one is a pie chart that I'm going to do. And the pie chart I'm going to actually do is a percentage of sales. Okay. And to do that one is actually, I need to actually do some calculations. So what I can do is I can just grab this item, grab these total sales. And in fact, first, before I do that, let me just put here percentage sales. Okay. And I'm going to grab the items, and then I'm going to grab the total sales. I'm going to grab these two. Make sure you expand. When you see something like this, please make sure you expand, and we'll take points off if I don't see that. Data has to be always look clean and nice. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to do the percentage of sales. And the question would be, okay, so how do we know that? How we do that? And the percentage of sales is based on the total. You see, the total of sales divided by the sales of each item. So what we need to do is we just have the total. Okay, so this is the total. This is at 36,000, and so that means I divide. Make sure you put the equal. B3. I'm sorry, B2. So that's the total sales. I'm gonna divide it by these 36, right? Make sure you put the formatting. You should know also how to do formatting at this point. I'm going to put percentage, just put 1, it should be good. Or in this case, I can just put 0, and it will give me the rounded number. Okay. Now, watch what I'm going to do next. If I do this, something is broken, right? And the reason for that is because now it's looking for B13. Look at this. This is B13. And if I come here, then it's actually looking for B21. There's no B21. There is nothing in there. That's why it's broken. That's why you need to be careful when you are doing autofill. So what you're going to do is you need to tell this cell, yes, you could go and do the same formula, one by one, and fix it and say, okay, it's 12. And yes, fix, and continue doing that. But the right way to actually do this is to create a formula so it's absolute. It's looking into these 12 all the time. It doesn't move. So that's what I'm going to do. And I just make it absolute. So now if I double tap the corner, I'm done. Now I actually have everything. And please make sure you put the grand total so you can kind of confirm the 100 is 100, you're done. And then what you need to do is you need to do the percentage. Now you don't need these total sales. What you're looking for is the items and the number of sales. Again, do not add the percentages. Then go to insert, and we come here in the chart. I actually prefer the 2D pipes. Okay, the pie chart. Now this chart is not done. You should know that in the lab is asking you to do some extra information. You need to get some formatting and some design options in here, and these are just examples. You see, now we're getting somewhere else, getting close with information. Make sure you put the information as the percentages, the actual numbers showing in here. You should know how to do that. I'm not gonna go over that. I'm just showing you how to do this one. And the last chart that I'm gonna go over, keep in mind this is not done. Make sure you put the title so it makes sense, okay? The next chart I'm going to go over is the trend line or the line chart, okay? And to do that, you need to basically use this information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this information. I'm going to create a new tab in here and paste it in. It looks like I missed it. Okay. Again, make sure you expand this thing so it looks nice and clean. Okay, this one is going to be my profits by day. Now these are profits. Okay, now one thing I missed was actually to grab the profit. No, actually, that's what I'm going to calculate in this case. Okay. So the way I'm going to calculate that is by actually, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do the profit, the net sales. So let me just do this really quick. When I put the equal, I start the calculation. I can actually jump to the previous or any other sheet tab, and I'm going to click on it, any other worksheet, and in this case is the net selling price. Then I'm going to click on the tab and say minus the cost per item. Okay, so net selling price minus cost per item. So that's basically what it's telling you is this is the profit, right? Because you won $20 for the item minus 10 of cost, so you got 10 left. That's what we're doing here. This is very simple math. And then I just go and I can just go and do the autofill. So I have this very important information. I am good. Now what I recommend doing now is you're actually going to identify the profits for each of these items. And that's what we're going to do next. So what I'm going to recommend is actually just copy this same information in here. You copy here, paste it maybe over here, and then delete this, all this. Basically, you are just grabbing everything in there. Okay, so what we're doing is it's actually very simple. We're just doing the dates. By the way, we don't need these two, so I can get rid of those. Okay, what we're doing is just multiplying the 56 times the profit, right? That's what we're going to do. Okay, so let's do this. Oh, I forgot this. Now, if I do this and I drag it, look what is going on. Because I'm expecting to get this all with time, multiply this. Again, this is where you need to make sure that you are looking at for this all the time. So you don't want to have, you want to use one formula so you can calculate everything in here. Okay, so let me just go really quick and talk a little bit about cell references because that's very important. So absolute, that means that you're always looking into that one, right? If I had this absolute, so let me actually make this absolute. Where's the sign? Okay, so if I had this one absolute reference, okay, and then I move this down, this one should be calculating the baseball hat times this 1050, not the one on the top. So I already messed up everything else. That's why you need to be very careful with the formula. So what you need to do is you need to actually have some sort of reference where it's kind of fixed, but it's also at the same time relative. So it's absolute and relative, and that's what is called a mixed reference. And that's what the one that we actually have in here. And what we're going to do is, what we're actually telling it right now, the system, is that, yes, I want this thing to be fixed by row. So it's looking all the time at this one. But once I move down, I want this baseball hat to look at time 50. I want this sweatshirt to times a 50. So make sure you do that. And now I'm going to go down here. I'm going to do that. I don't know if you noticed, but that changes. So if I go to shirt, now I see the calculation is done. So I can just do one, move everything to the top, and then go to the bottom, and everything is done for me. So I just one calculation, I do everything. That's the beauty of Excel. Okay, and it looks like I missed one here. So let me just make sure I go down. There you go. Okay, we're almost done with the lab. The only thing we need to do is come in here and do the subtotals or the sum for each of them. Again, please expand. Make sure you expand. There's a neat trick where you highlight everything. You expand one and everything's highlighted is expanded. Or you double tap in when you see this kind of symbol, and it kind of arranges exactly the way it should fit. So I just want kind of trick in there. Okay, we have this. Make sure you put some formatting. In this case, just going to bold it to make it more visual. And all I need to do is a trend line chart of these profits. These are the profits by month for all the items. That's what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so all I need to do is I need to select this data, insert, and where is the, let me just do this one. There you go. And this is a trend line. By the way, something I missed in here is that I actually should have selected the dates, right? Because we want to do this by date. There you go. Now this looks much better. I know the dates, I look at that, and now this looks like almost the end result. You may want to add some subtotals in here, so it looks the actual subtotals. You can do that in the options in the chart. And by the end of the day, just to recap, you should actually have 5 tabs. Keep in mind that I added this one in this chart. So what I'm expecting is that you will have a new tab called Profit by Product. Okay, so I'm looking for 5 tabs. The first one is documentation. Next one is sales data. Let me just copy this for the sake of example. This one should be full screen. Okay. Make sure you do all the calculations as discussed, profit by product, the chart, and the profits by day by giving you the trend line. Please make sure you review the tutorials and feel free to contact me if you have any issues or concerns.